And one of the things that can't be attacked is your self-custody Bitcoin. And one of the things that can be attacked is the ETF. You can't be exposed to that. That's my view. It's not a good idea. And by the way, that'll hit MSTR too. It'll probably hit other stuff as well.
Friends and enemies, welcome back. Canadian Bitcoiners Podcast.
Friends and enemies, welcome to the CBP. Wanna be better informed? Listen to Len and Joey. Spots is taken care of right off the top. Bull, Bitcoin, and easy DNS. The media is feeding the slop. It doesn't matter what topics discussed. Quality entertainment and information you can trust.
That's being planned or at least discussed. You know, we're not going to allow
quality entertainment and information you can trust. Send the guy some value, boost them with some stats. Bitcoin is a scarcity asset. I mean, it's just a fact. Geopolitical, national, down to the local cloud.
Friends and enemies, welcome to yet another edition of the Mighty CBP. I'm Len the Legend, and obviously you're listening to this. You're wondering, what the heck am I doing? Where's Joey? Joey's not here today because he's, as you mentioned last week, getting his knee looked at, and that's the first step before getting this guy fixed. But this Jabroни's not going to be doing this solo. I got somebody joining me, not coming off the bench. We're getting the Hall of Famer Boomer. Boomer, buddy, how are you?
I'm doing good. You're coming in with a little bit of an echo here, like you're
No.
Yeah.
Oh no. Shouldn't be an echo. We have to restart this thing. Anyways, let's wait till somebody gives us some feedback if there is any echo or not, because my side it sounds okay.
Yeah, maybe I just have to restart here.
Okay, so you could do your thing, restart, and I'll just keep people entertained because, well, we have a busy week ahead of us in the Mighty CBP. And as I mentioned, Joey's not here. Nonetheless, we have a couple of sponsors. I got to chop off our list of things to do. Number one, Easy DNS. And if you're looking to do any domain name hosting, registering of any domain names, anything like that, EasyDNS is the best place to do it. They have you covered. Want to squat on the domain name, right? Like that seems to be popular these days. Might as well use EasyDNS. These guys, they mean business, privacy, security. You won't get rugged with them. They've been in business for decades. Have email hosting done somewhere else? Why not move it over to them? Or want to start up email hosting? Why not start with EasyDNS? Want to move your web hosting over? You can. Or you want to start a website? Same thing, you could do that. Virtual private servers, you could do Bitcoin nodes, you could do BTC pay servers, lots of different options, a lot of suites of products that's being offered by EasyDNS, like DomainSure. That way, protect your good name, your good website, so nobody else is going to take your customers away from you with a fake website, a fake-looking website. Not only that, EasyDNS will let you pay in Bitcoin, so that's pretty darn good. Check them out. Use our promo code CBP Media, and sign up, 50% taken off your initial purchase. That's easydns.com. Boomer.
Yeah, I'm back. That was on me. 100% on me. Yeah, like I had you open on multiple windows, and then I was hearing you twice, and then I clued in as I was refreshing. So sorry about that. I'm continuing the tradition of like tech issues to open the show.
So we're
2 for 2 now, 2 in a row.
Yeah, next week we strike out. Boomer, I got one more ad read to do. It's up to you if you want to do it or
not.
Bitcoin.
Bull Bitcoin.
You want to do it, or you want me to do it?
They're the best exchange in Canada. They're probably the best exchange in the world. How many countries are they available in now? I know that they're available in France.
10?
Yeah, Costa Rica, France, Mexico,
Canada.
A few more in Europe.
Yeah, it's Portugal, Spain, Italy. It's a number of them. I'm going to guess 10, maybe a little bit more. Who knows?
Non-custodial as well. So they never hold your Bitcoin. You buy Bitcoin from Bull. It goes straight to your wallet. They also have a fantastic app. Like their Liquid wallet has kind of become my daily driver. I've kind of given up on the Lightning stuff, and I just take the Bull Bitcoin Liquid wallet, and it works great. I mean, Liquid, it's 1 minute block time, so you're waiting a little bit more than for Lightning, but 1 minute is usually fine. I've never had any issues with it. And they're a great bunch of guys too. They're cool as shit. I got some Bull Bitcoin swag back there over that shoulder. And you guys got like a promotion with them. What's the code that when they sign up?
The link is below. I don't know it off the top of my head, but there's a link below. So people listening, it'll be on the audio notes, and the people watching, it's going to be down in the show notes. So check it out, open an account, and a little bit will be taken off every buy you do moving forward in perpetuity. So might as well do it. Use our promo code, open an account with Bull Bitcoin.
And they're hosting an event this week, I believe, in Montreal. I think Francis is in town.
Are you participating?
No, I won't be. I would be, but I'm going on vacation, so I won't be in town. Like I'll be on the road, so I won't be going. But Nolan Bowerly and Francis are going to be in Montreal talking about sovereignty, talking about Quebec, talking about Alberta, talking about Bitcoin. So anybody anywhere close to the Montreal area, I would highly, highly, highly recommend checking it out.
And this week on the CBP, Joey is going to be interviewing somebody by name of Heather. I don't want to give the full name just in case I'm going to dox her name, but I'm not sure what's it all about. Do you know of any Heather that's in the Bitcoin / adjacent field?
Just Heather that does the Unhypnotized podcast.
I don't want to say the name just in case it's wrong. So anyways, if you're listening, if you want to hear a Heather talk, Joey's going to be talking to a Heather this Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Check it out. But I got to just a couple of things I got to do really quick. Number one, I want to talk about boosts. You okay with that, Boomer?
Of course.
Awesome. Okay, so top 5 boosts for this week. AIBLE. Eibel? I don't know. 100 sats says he loves a new segment. That's the Hamilton man versus Brampton man.
Great.
I'm all up for those. I'm all for those elbows up, but those elbows are up while jerking off in the public transit. I think we've jumped the shark as a country. Thank you and God bless. Yeah, I agreed. God's Deeth, 237 sats. He says, thank you, gentlemen. All right. Jer writes in 3 different times, 2,000 sats. Further fire, more fire, and straight fire. He's just all about the fire. He loved our last episodes last week. 3 of them were released, and he loved them all. So yeah, Taz says no echo here. Thank you very much for the feedback.
Is that the same? Is that the same Jer that does the live streams on Nostr?
I don't know.
You know who I'm talking about?
No, but Jer, if you're listening to this, give us an answer. Are you the one that's doing those live streams on Nostr? Let's get an answer to that. Boomer, before we dive deep into the Bitcoin stuff, just a couple of last things. I got to take everyone last thing. Any memories of the late, great Hulk Hogan, who passed away this week?
Like positive or negative? Or positive or negative? My first ever memory.
He helped shape our generation, right?
Yeah.
Like he was right, very, very instrumental for us growing up.
Yeah, SummerSlam with the Mega Powers versus the Mega Bucks is my first wrestling, like pretty vivid memory of it all. You know, like the whole feud with the $1 Million Man and with Andre the Giant, and how it kind of turned into a big thing. I'm a Randy Macho Man Savage guy, you know that. Like I'm a Randy Macho Man Savage guy. So Hulk Hogan was kind of like half at the time. He was like kind of not cool for me. Like I thought he was like too goody for me. That's why I always like those bad guys. So SummerSlam, that was the SummerSlam 88 or 89. I think 88.
1 or 2, yeah.
I think it was 88.
You ever see Hogan wrestle live?
No.
I 3 times.
3 times. Who'd he face?
Orndorff, 86
wow.
exhibition in Toronto. 1990 WrestleMania 6 against Warrior.
Oh shit!
And then I saw him at Nitro in the late 90s. So I was lucky enough to see him a few times, especially in his prime. Yeah, but the man is gone. Hulkamania lives forever, but the Terry Bollea, unfortunately, is gone. So
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Let's go on to Bitcoin stuff. I think it's a good time to start. Joe, I'm going to call you Joey. Boomer.
I've been called worse by better.
This is one I want to hear your thoughts about, because MicroStrategy, MST, what the fuck they're called. I have no fucking clue. I don't know how they go about doing this, but they find new ways to raise capital. And this week's edition of Strategy's debt offering is something called STRC. It seems like every week there's another offering that they're ponying up for people that just want to buy. STRC is this week's debt offering. and it's designed to be a Bitcoin-backed version of U.S. Treasury bills. That's what some people are describing it. Initially, the yield for these STRCs is going to be between 9.5 to 10%. And comparatively to U.S. Treasury bills, it's way, way more lucrative. But I'm wondering now, with this very high yield, so to speak, I mean, holy fuck, are we entering Terra Luna territory? Remember, Terra Luna was offering 19.5%, give or take. And everybody knows what happened to them. I'm not saying that this is going to be the same thing, but, you know, the algorithmic stablecoin, you know, that was some shit coinery giving large yields. Is it, because this is going to be a fiat offering of some sort of algorithmic stablecoin type? I have no, it's not a stablecoin, at least algorithmic stock. But either way, they're trying to get 500 million. And what are they going to use that for? Well, primarily to buy more Bitcoin. And it's going to make a lot of people that are MSTR investors happy. They are aiming to maintain a price of around $100 per share for these STRC stuff. Algorithmic shares. Thoughts on this? It's
concerning. Now, you and I are in a couple of group chats together. I've been on this show before talking with Joey about MicroStrategy and stuff. I like to think that I'm relatively level-headed when it comes to this. Like, I'm not a hardcore Sailor apologist, and I'm also not like one of those anti anything that is not on chain. Like, I like to think that I kind of take everything with a grain of salt and kind of learn a little bit about it before I have really strong opinions about everything. But with this, it feels a little much. Don't you think? It seems fast. Now, what Sailor seems to be doing here, and I think he's said so. If he hasn't, he's alluded to it. He's really trying to build himself out a yield curve. He's trying to create all these different products that will appease to every single type of investor, all the way out to on the risk spectrum, right? So where the common shares would be the highest risk, where this new offering would be the lowest risk. And he's trying to find a product everywhere along the line. My concern is just how quick he's doing all this, and why all at once.
Like, maybe there's the impression that Bitcoin's going to go up and he wants to strike the hammer while it's red hot before this thing really runs away. Like, they have 600,000 Bitcoin.
Or the other way around. Or it could go down really fast, and he wants other options out there that he can sell without having to sell common shares, to dilute further with the common shares, or to sell Bitcoin. He's trying to find whatever. He's looking for chairs. That's what I'm trying to say, in a way, right? He's trying to set himself up so that if things go down, he'll have things to sell instead of having to pony up the cash by selling Bitcoin.
They're not going to sell. I mean, you didn't even reference it or hint at it, but just for people out there, neither of us are going to say that they're going to start selling their Bitcoin. They're not.
Can't.
The only way they could start selling their Bitcoin is if the company goes tits up. That's the only way I can see it. We had Bitcoin go down to 15K 3 years ago, maybe a little bit less than 3 years ago, and they still did not sell. In fact, they might have been still buying through that whole ordeal, and their average buy price was way higher than 15K.
Yeah,
and so they didn't sell then. Right now, we're sitting at, I don't know what that, 120-ish. I don't know where the fuck we are right now. They're not going to sell anytime soon.
No,
it's got to be a bankruptcy. That's not going to happen. So, yeah, they're just finding new ways to just offer up like something
to accumulate more. Yeah,
this one is interesting. I don't want to say it is ingenious or people should be looking at this. The high yield is something that scares me. The 9.5 to 10% initially. I look at that and I always wonder the yield, like they say, where does it come from? I'm sure they're able to find a paper trail that is you are not the exit liquidity for this, but maybe you are. I don't know. But I'm just trying to get at is just being rather high. To me, it's a kind of a red flag. But people that are buying, say, treasuries, and they're not mandated by treasuries. They're just buying it just to get some steady income, some steady yield year over year. This is a better alternative, right? Like in terms of just, so that's going to be able to attract a certain customer. It's not going to attract me.
All these products that he's offering will attract a certain customer, right? All the and I don't have them memorized. SDRD, STRC, SDRK, SDRD. I have a little chart that I have on my computer to kind of remind me which one is senior and which one is junior, all the way out.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting though, like what he's doing. You got to give him that. Like there's not, but I wonder, like, what is the appetite for these products when they
sell out? Right, that's the fucking thing is every time they offer it, it's not like they're coming back and say, guys, you really got to look at and buy into this thing. They fucking sell out. There are people lined up to buy this shit.
Then why is the yield 9% then? If there's so much demand, why wouldn't you start the yield? Why wouldn't you start the yield off above 5, because U.S. Treasuries yield around 5, so you yield a little bit more than 5, but you certainly yield less than 10. Like, why are we at this number?
They just, that's a really good question. I don't know.
And I'm not sure if the demand for this one is going to be as strong as some of the other ones. Like I'm not super in it. You know, I look at it, I'm no expert. But I think we kind of lump them all together in our brains, that these alternative products, these MSTR alternative products, and we assume that they all have roughly the same amount of demand. And I'm not sure if that's the case.
Agreed.
So
well, we'll see in short time how this one plays out. To be honest, I don't give a fuck. I can't stress it for myself and people out there. If you use it, if you want to buy into it, good fucking luck. I hope you make bank. But for me, I don't give a. These guys could keep offering more and more stuff. It's good talking points, but in terms of like impacting my life, no fucking way. I am not exiting my Bitcoin allotment and get more fiat. It's the opposite. I want to lessen my fiat allotment and increase my Bitcoin allotment. That's just the only way it works for me like that. But
for some of the newer watchers, the newer listeners that are tuning in, this is one of your first episodes. You guys got to know how hardcore Len is.
No,
Len is no joke. You're a legend. There's a reason why Len the legend is.
Well, let's just transition to a story as to why I speak like this and because it's a story about the banks, and they keep giving us reasons why Bitcoin is a better alternative, right? And it's a lawyer, Eva Chapayak. I hope I pronounced her name correctly, Eva Chapayak. She went on social media this past week. She was showcasing that Bitcoin is way better option than just leaving stuff in a bank. Notably, she's a lawyer, or was a lawyer, that was defending the truckers in Ottawa. So she has that target on her back. This past week, she was given notice by RBC Bank that her account is going to be shut down. And the rationale they provided her was for risk concerns. They say recent activity was outside RBC's client risk appetite. This is verbatim from RBC. And we won't get into the fact that RBC was recently fined $7.4 million by FinTrack, that's Canada's anti-money laundering agency, because they failed to comply with anti-money laundering and terrorist financing regulations. They have blood on their hands, RBC does. But I guess those actions are within the bank's risk of appetite. What she did, apparently, she was buying Bitcoin, and that is, the bank said she's no longer in a position to continuing servicing her.
Do you know what that sketchy buying Bitcoin was? 2 days in a row, she submitted $1,000 from her bank account to her ShakePay account. Jesus. 2 days in a row, $1,000.
And so I'm going to tie this back into the first story we talked about before we get to this one.
Allegedly.
Do you see why I don't want to buy any shit like MSTR? And granted, MSTR would probably increase, and a lot of other offerings would increase your fiat allotment, because has done very well in the past a while, and I expect it to do very well as long as the price of Bitcoin doesn't go down. But you somehow have to exit that fiat into something like Bitcoin.
Yeah.
She, 2 $1,000 purchases was enough to flag her and say, no, if you're locked in fiat, you are locked in fucking fiat. You can't get the fuck out. So
to a Canadian company who are pretty, like, we both know some of the guys at ShakePay, like they're pretty professional over there. They go out of their way, I think, sometimes overboard to be compliant. You know, I'm not saying, oh, maybe I should rephrase that a little bit.
Operating with, I know what you're trying to get. They operate within the confines of the law. They have been recently granted admission within the walled gardens. And fuck, I forget the name of the agency or the whatever it is, but they are now at the table when it comes to talking about financial stuff.
Yes.
With fuck, I forget the name of that. Either way, what I'm trying to get at is these people, ShakePay, they haven't rubbed the regulators the wrong way. They've
gone out of their way to engage with regulators.
Yes.
They have people on staff whose job is to engage with these people. Where there are some exchanges out there that basically put a middle finger up to the government and say, go fuck yourself. But not ShakePay. ShakePay, and they're Canadian. So they're a Canadian company that are doing things the right way, at least to the best of their ability. And this lady sends $1,000 on back-to-back days. Now, you are supposed to disclose on ShakePay if you make transactions above a certain number, and I'm not sure what that number is. It might be 1,000.
It is.
And maybe she didn't. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she didn't. First of all, the fact that you have to is kind of ridiculous. $1,000. It's not that much money, you know, in the grand scheme of things. So I don't know if this is so much a Bitcoin story as it is a Canadian authoritarian freedom type of story. But either way, it does have play on this show, and it is something we should discuss, because it shouldn't matter that she was sending something to ShakePay to buy Bitcoin, supposedly, right? Yeah. That's not as important as the fact that it was able to get shut down. Her bank account was able to get shut down for doing something that is certainly not illegal.
Yeah. Payments Canada. So ShakePay is a member of Payments Canada.
Now, and where have ShakePay been on this? Like, I searched around a little bit to see if they've made any statements about this, and I haven't seen anything.
What can they do? And I don't want to defend them.
Well, it's their customer, right? She's a customer.
They may, and I don't want to defend them in this way, because let's be honest, all they're trying to do is facilitate transaction. When the relationship between herself and the bank,
correct,
ShakePay is outside of that. So,
but if her reacting with them is what caused something to flag on the bank's end, then that is something that if I were the business, I would want to be on that. And I sure as hell wouldn't want any more customers, this happening to more customers, because it's not good for business.
Yeah. And maybe they're doing something behind the scenes. We don't know. Now I'm just wondering, you're right. Why haven't they said anything publicly? That seems rather strange. But either way, if this isn't a red flag for people out there,
yeah,
I don't know what is. The best thing you should do is learn through somebody else's pain. You don't want to go through this. You want to see somebody, and I don't want to see anybody else go through this. But if they do, at the very least, learn what happened and try to avoid that from happening to you. Now, what is the best way for this from happening to you? Obviously, going ahead and still buying Bitcoin is going to be, you can't get around that if you want to stack more Bitcoin. So you have to still buy Bitcoin. But what I'm trying to get at is, why try to increase your fiat allocation? Try to minimize that as much as possible. Try to increase the amount of sats you have. And once you control it, you run your own node, you broadcast your own transactions, you control your own keys, not your coin, is very much prevalent, especially here, because imagine if she had stuff on an exchange, they'd probably been given an order to hold it. Like, who gave them the order? How did RBC do this? It's not arbitrarily.
It's on them. It's on RBC. That something flagged on RBC. Well, that's how I read it. If you read like the letter that she posted a letter that the bank sent
Yeah.
her.
I'm wondering if somebody above them. I don't want to say whom. I'm
Well,
just trying to say. I'm wondering.
Or maybe this individual, this person was on some sort of list already, and they were looking for some reason to debank her as a form of
punishment,
punishment.
retribution. Yeah, and I get it. And we at the CBP, we went through the same bullshit before, and I don't want to rehash that because my blood pressure goes up when I do. But my hatred for those institutions, it's still at an all-time high. It has not gone down since then. And watching this, it just basically keeps it at an all-time high. So what I'm trying to get at is people learn from other people's pain. If you don't, if you want to be suffering as a result, do continually keep your money in the bank, do everything, and then everything is great. And until one day they say no, you're not going to be able to get it.
And if you want to know how, talking to the listeners out there, if you want to know how bad it can actually get, go on CBP's YouTube page and scroll back a couple of months when Tony from the Bitcoin Way was on with Len. And he talked for about an hour with Len about what happened, his experience that he had in Lebanon, not that long ago.
Yeah, he was fucking retired. Like he basically had his whole life set up for him in such a way that he wasn't going to be able, he wouldn't have to lift much of a finger to make himself, feed himself, house himself. So like he had everything set up for him. And then just overnight, the central bank, they devalued the currency. He wasn't able to get access to his funds. It was not able to get it into USD. It was stuck in, what's the Lebanese currency? Is it Lebanese lira or?
I thought it were dollars. Weren't they
Lebanese dollars? Lebanese, yes.
Sure.
So it was stuck in. So he got wrecked.
Yeah,
and
you got to, in the fiat system, there are an unlimited amount of backdoors for an obscene amount of people to rug you in any which way. Right? We talk about quantum computers and Bitcoin. Oh, like is it going to be quantum resistant? I'm like, guys, like the fiat system is way more fragile than the Bitcoin system.
Yeah. You want to see how much more fragile it is when they flood the market with all, like we saw what happened in 2020 and 2021. And now where people are just pissed off now because everything has gone up. Well, now you have way more money floating in the system, chasing the same amount of goods. And obviously the price of the goods are going to go up as a result. This past week, we had 80,000 Bitcoin. 80,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That was apparently sold off by an OG Bitcoiner. And Galaxy Digital was the one that helped facilitate that trade. And what happened with all that? The price of Bitcoin, for the most part, was pretty stable. Like it went down a little bit, but if you think about it, it's $9 billion worth of a transaction. 3 years ago, when Terra Luna went tits up, that was about the same amount of Bitcoin that was released when them and Voyager and BlockFi and a few other, I can't remember. That was about the same amount of Bitcoin that was released to the market, and the price of Bitcoin tanked. Now, it was kind of a blip more than anything. Like I'm wondering now.
Nothing. We're right back to where we were. This was
incredible.
Friday. Yeah, that was Friday, right? I think it got posted.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday,
Thursday,
like
Friday, and here we are Monday evening, and we're exactly where we were. And
incredible.
It only went down a couple of percent.
Yeah. So that's why, like in terms of resiliency of Bitcoin, this is an incredible showcase of what it like. How much people want to buy. If they start flooding the market with Bitcoin, there's people out there just willing to scoop it up. Now, as for who this is, the story is this OG Bitcoiner. Don't know if it's true. Speculation is an estate sale. And as a result of that, somebody or the people managing the estate decided to sell it.
Huh. Was it
so
Terry?
Imagine, I don't know. I mean, could you imagine, you go out there, you buy Bitcoin, you hold on to it for a number of years, and you croak. And then, so the keys are passed on to your whoever, and they decide, you know what, fucking sell it. Like, come on.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I hadn't heard that. But that does make a lot of sense. I had questioned somebody somewhere along the line about why wasn't this done over the counter? If you're somebody that has 80,000 Bitcoin, not even 80, if you have more than 10,000 Bitcoin or even 1,000 Bitcoin, why would you use an exchange? Why wouldn't you just like use like one of those like
BISC?
Well, not just BISC. Can you imagine how long that would take with BISC?
Hodl.
You'd be there for the rest of your life trying to get rid of your Bitcoin. But
an OTC transaction probably makes more sense because that's like, for example, MicroStrategy. That's where they make their buys, right?
Yeah,
and
almost all of the institutions do the OTC transactions, even the ETFs. Like, why wouldn't you give Larry Fink a call and say, hey, Uncle Larry, got some corn for you.
Another theory is it could be Ross that sold this.
I heard Roger Ver as well, but every time something happens at Bitcoin now, like a sell, it's like, oh, it's Roger Ver.
He's for whatever reason, because he's fucked, right? Like, did they extradite him back to the US?
They're trying.
So he's wherever, like, where is he, in the Cayman or something? He's in
somewhere. Yeah.
So he's not okay. Good luck to him. And you know what? If he didn't pay what he should have paid, I don't know. Like, what's the whole thing? Like, people may say, "Oh, like he was entitled to it." Like, the law's the law. You got to deal with it. It sucks, But
if you're new to Bitcoin, that's definitely a name that's not from this cycle, not from last cycle, from like
many cycles ago,
a couple of cycles ago. But he was a major character in the history of Bitcoin.
He was even before I got into Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I got in just after all this. I started in Q4 2017, and I think August was when everything took place, right? I could be wrong, in August 2017, but I missed it. It's too bad because I would have loved to have got on for the split and get those fucking coins and sold them off, because that's basically free money, but whatever.
Great stories for like Bitcoin meetups. If there's like some older guys that have been around a long time, ask them stories about like Roger Ver and the block size wars and the hard fork. Those are amazing stories. In
some cases, you got to pay $10K to go like do one of these visits to watch Breedlove speak, and then you get the like. By the way, anybody that's doing that, paying, I forget what they call those. What Breedlove is calling those.
The Art of Alpha.
Art of Alpha. Thank you. $10K USD for some of those fucking things. Do yourself a favor. I know it'd probably be a write-off and all that, but just fucking buy corn instead. Like, you're gonna be way better off. Fuck giving it for these trips that are meaningless. If not, just go for somewhere else without giving them the $10K. Go to Hawaii, go wherever the fuck, and enjoy. You get better value doing that. But
do go to Bitcoin meetups though.
Yeah, so you don't have to.
Go to your local Bitcoin meetup. You don't need to spend $10,000 to talk to an online influencer about Bitcoin.
What is the next meetup in Ottawa?
Not until I get back from vacation. I'm not. I shouldn't say that. Like, I'm not canceling them. So I think that they're probably going to run without me for the next couple of weeks. So I think next Wednesday. But I won't be there.
When? Like what time?
Yeah, 7:00 at the Big Rig restaurant. That's Chris Phillips' old restaurant. Remember Chris Phillips? He was the
defenseman first overall.
Yeah. He opened up a restaurant here, so we meet up there every 4. Yeah, we meet there twice a month. So like the second Wednesday of every month and the third Sunday.
He was no Chara.
No. Is that who they got for? Is that who they traded for Chara?
No. The thing is, if I recall correctly, they had 2 players that were going to be turning free agents around the same time, Redden and Chara. They ended up keeping Redden and letting Chara go and sign Redden to a long-term contract. Now, Redden was a good defenseman at the time, but hindsight, man, Chara was an absolute stud.
Yeah.
But at the time, Redden seemed like a good choice.
And Redden was like in the community. He was a Canadian boy, and that style of defenseman at the time was, stay-at-home defenseman.
No, he was a very good two-way defenseman. Yes.
Wasn't Redden more defensive?
No, he was able to accumulate lots of points. He was really good. He at the time, if you look at it, he was one of the better defensemen in the league, and so was Chara. That's why Ottawa had such a good team that year.
They got Chara. I was mistaken there. They got Chara from trading Alexei Yashin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got it from the Islanders. Yeah. Jack Dorsey. Let's talk about him.
Yeah.
This past week, he announced that merchants that are using Square are going to be given the option for Bitcoin payments. So the acceptance of Bitcoin. And so paying with Bitcoin, I talk about it all the time on the show. It's great news for those that want to see Bitcoin used as a medium of exchange. But as per this announcement, it seems that there's going to be a limited rollout, and just a few merchants in the moment are going to be able to do this. The plan is to have this rolled out to all merchants by next year. And those who have been approved can enable customers to pay with the Lightning Network, and with almost instant settlement and fees costing next to nothing. This could potentially fuck over Visa and MasterCard if merchants offer some sort of incentive to customers for paying in Bitcoin, because those Visa and MasterCard, have to charge, or they get dealing, or they're dealing with an extra 1 to 2 or 1 to 4% with dealing with Visa or MasterCard, plus the settlement is days or weeks. And so it's a little bit of a hindrance for the merchant itself. So if they could offer a 2-tiered payment system, one for Bitcoin that's a few percent off versus one for Visa or MasterCard, which is standard rate, this could open a door for some people to potentially use Bitcoin because there's an incentive to do so. But in terms of this, I don't see this playing out. This is just an idea. Probably will never fucking fly. The reality is this feature is offering for Bitcoin payment is probably going to be mostly unused. Let's be honest. People right now are in HODL mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. No, I disagree with that. I think there will be some people that will use it.
They're going to be the minority. Like, it's going to be an extreme minority of that.
It's more on the merchant side that I hope it's easy for them. Like, I hope
they just opt in. It's a simple opting in.
Just opt in. I hope it's easy. I hope the interface is seamless. I hope that it's just a matter of, click, and then they can do it. From what I understand with this, what you said is correct. It can be Lightning from, sats to sats, and then the merchant will get to hold the sats. But I think there's also an option that the merchant can get dollars.
Yeah.
Right away. So maybe that's it's good. I mean, all of this is good. Like, I'm happy to hear this. I wish I would have heard this 3 years ago. Like, this seems a little
late.
I wish I would, but better late than never. I know personally, I do quite a bit of shopping at farmers markets, and I've had one. I have a Bitcoin hat when I go. I kind of talk about Bitcoin a little bit to the farmers and to the merchants. I've had one kind of ask me questions more. She actually asked my girlfriend questions because I go there with my girlfriend, and she kind of, one day that I wasn't there, she asked my girlfriend, like, oh, what about this Bitcoin thing that, your boyfriend kind of talks about? So that's good. And she does have a Square terminal. So I'm hoping that she'll be one of the few that will be able to activate this on her terminal at some point. Mm-hmm. And I can start paying for my sausages, in Bitcoin. Like, I would like to do that.
Is this a Montreal bar reference, or is this something else?
No. No, it's not a Montreal bar reference. No.
Okay, because when you're paying for sausages, you never know.
That's
right?
2024 meta, man. That's a previous meta. That's not
2025.
This is 2025. 2025 is farmers markets. Actual sausage, actual pork sausage from the farmer.
All right.
I just hope it's easy. I hope it's not that much of a problem. I'm with you. It's better than credit cards charging merchants 3%. But these merchants also have other options as well. They can accept debit. Having a conversation with a farmer a couple of weeks ago, and they were actually telling us that they prefer debit to credit. Like, they would rather people pay with Interact, with their bank card, because it's
what's the rationale for that? I think
cheaper,
I know what it is.
Cheaper fees, right?
Mm-hmm.
They would actually even prefer, this particular farmer would actually prefer that to cash, because paying in cash is a pain in the ass. Once they have too much of it, then they have to go submit it in the bank, and it becomes a little bit of a problem.
Yeah. Imagine that it's legal tender.
I know.
Right?
I know.
You've heard this is the whole bullshit of this all, where they set up these barriers, and now in Canada they're thinking about any transaction over 10K, and it could be cumulative, like you do
I know.
a $7,000 transaction to 4,000, and that's going to be something that could potentially be against the law. Man, like what the fuck? I mean, if they pay me in paper, or in this case plastic, because our bills are plastic here in Canada, like it's still legal tender, right? It doesn't matter if I'm going to spend $20 or $10,020. It's still the same shit to me. I mean, it's bullshit that they have this, but whatever. It's all the more reason why I Bitcoin, and I like to see this.
Yeah, me too. Like I'm excited. Yeah. I'm really excited for this. Like I'm actually somewhat
really excited.
No, I am. This is actually huge news for me. This is
something that Jack Mahler should have came out with a fucking years ago.
Yeah,
right. Remember he was talking about this at one of those conferences I'm going to not name. And still, I don't think if any of this has been.
And that's why you're a legend, Len. That's why
I'm not getting angry about those motherfuckers. And so, he did that. He was a nice spiel. He speaks a big game, but what the fuck did he deliver with respect to that? Maybe he did. I have my head buried up my ass, but I didn't see it. Hearing anything. Exactly.
Yeah.
Whatever. Fucking PayPal.
So you're not like a medium of exchange guy, right? You were like you said before. It's like people don't want to spend their Bitcoin. You think that like people are just gonna not spend?
I think people are in hodl mode for a couple of reasons. One, they are buying this for right now with the intention of obviously increasing their wealth somehow. And the second is the tax requirements.
That's the problem.
In Canada and the United States.
Yeah.
Unless things change, it's an administrative headache. So
I want to see that changed. That to me is like the biggest thing that could happen in Bitcoin. It's strategic Bitcoin reserve, treasury companies. Like, I don't care. Like, I want to see no capital gains tax on de minimis purchases. Whatever that number is. I'd love to see it $1,000, but realistically, we'll be lucky to see a couple of $100. Like no capital gains on Bitcoin transactions under a couple of $100, because I'm the type of person I really like to use my Bitcoin. Like I go out of my way wherever I can to exchange it as much as I can, because I truly believe that if this thing is to be what we hope it to be, like this, this revolutionary thing, we need to have it as a medium of exchange.
And that's what it is. It's not only a store of value, but it's a medium of exchange. And I'm guilty of not using it as a medium of exchange. But you know what? I have an excuse. I don't leave the fucking basement. So, it's hard for me to pay when I'm stuck here in the basement.
Yeah.
PayPal. We can talk about PayPal because there's some news that happened this past week. And it looks like they're going to be allowing merchants to accept Bitcoin and other things. About 100 digital assets in total are going to be allowed for people to transact. So you can allow people to pay with PayPal, including shit like Farcoin. Like they're just scraping the bottom of the barrel here. Like meme coins they're fucking throwing in there. Anyways, initially they're going to charge merchants a promotional fee of 0.99%, so about 1% on transactions for the first year, and then charge up to 1.5% beyond that. So it seems rather reasonable.
That's very
reasonable. There's a question I have, because as per this article in Fortune, I don't know how truthful this is. It says, to settle the transactions, PayPal will let users connect to existing crypto wallets they own to a checkout page. And depending on a buyer's crypto wallet, PayPal will sell the cryptocurrency on a centralized exchange like Binance, like Coinbase, or a decentralized exchange like Uniswap. The proceeds of the sale will then be converted into PayPal's stablecoin. So we're going from Bitcoin, it's changed for stablecoin, and then that will be converted yet again to USD. And then the USD will be sent to the merchant. These extra steps, though, there's two of them here. So you're going from Bitcoin, potentially, to PayPal's stablecoin, then to USD. There's got to be some fees in between that PayPal's not going to be eating. It's going to be passed on to the consumer or the merchant. Somebody's got to pay for it.
My 2 cents on this is quite simple. I think this is them trying to pump up liquidity on their stablecoin.
Could be,
and they're willing to eat the fees. to be able to say that they have this much money worth of transactions happening on their stablecoin, because they see that there's a what the American administration is going with the stablecoin stuff. So if they can put their product up with some of the bigger ones and say we have millions of dollars in transactions on this on our PayPal stablecoin, look how great we are, they're willing to eat the fees. This is a promotional thing.
But what, like, in terms of the big guys, now you have Tether.
Yeah.
I think number one, then USDC, which is heavily regulated, I think is number two. And then after that,
there's a bunch of,
it's a huge drop. Like, what's the drop? Like, what is PayPal? What are they trying to do with this? Even they're trying to pump their own stablecoin. I'm wondering what's the end game here. Is
maybe to get other banks to start using their stablecoin.
Maybe,
right? When I read this article, that was the first thing that came to mind. It's like this is clearly a promotional. I don't know, it's a stunt. It's not a stunt. It's a promotional thing to get liquidity, to get volume on their stablecoin, so that they can say that our stablecoin is the third biggest stablecoin in the world.
I guess it does absolutely nothing for me to onboard onto PayPal and use it. Okay, I'm happy with the fact that they're allowing people to pay with Bitcoin, but just extra steps. Let's do away with that. Like, what about just Bitcoin? And if the end user wants to keep the Bitcoin, they keep it, or Bitcoin and then straight to USD. You know, they just don't even deal with this PayPal bullshit. Just go straight to USD and then call it a day.
It's pretty clear where this is going, though, right? Like, you really see that, like, this tokenization thing is not going away.
No,
this is early innings. So this is really early.
Lenny Poffel, the Genius Act. They're trying to make with that. They're trying to regulate and try to at least have some sort of framework for utilization of stablecoins. I can't believe they're doing this. It seems like there is a element of power that's lost when you're doing that, because you're handing off some of the power to these centralized companies, either be it Tether or who's USDC? Circle. And rather than the central bank or even the SWIFT system being the ones that overseeing everything, now they're having somebody else do it. Like, it seems like, why pass off this power to them? It just doesn't make sense to me. But you know what? There's a lot of things I don't see.
We'll see. We'll see what this all means. Like, I honestly think that within the next few years, people will have the option to pay for their groceries in Apple stock, where their wallet will be, you know, their on their phone, their payment wallet will be attached to all their financial things, and they'll be able to use a fraction of their stock portfolio to be able to pay for daily transactions.
I don't know, man.
I think we're headed there. I think that seems where we're going.
Well, Western Union, let's talk about that company. I can't believe they're still around, because they're trying to find new ways of offering up services to people, and they're exploring the option of providing stablecoin services. Anybody out there that's bullish on Western Union, the ticker is WU. Check it out. Look at the past 5 years. It looks like the Bitcoin to ETH or ETH to Bitcoin chart, whatever the fuck it is, which is a steady decline. The value of Western Union, just like the value of ETH comparatively to Bitcoin, is going down. It's gone down quite a bit. And they must be shitting themselves because of what happened with the advent of Bitcoin and now stablecoins. So now with this Genius Act coming out, looks like they're saying that, you know, stablecoins could be more mainstream. Took a look at their website. Right now, if you want to send money abroad, for example, if you want to send money to Mexico, be it $200, $600, $1,000 to Mexico, $8 is the fee. $8. I can send billions of dollars in Bitcoin around the world. It costs me pennies, depending on how many UTXOs there are. So it's no comparison right now. Granted, the Bitcoin network is not being stuffed with shit. It's pretty much, it's pretty empty, the mempool. But let's be honest, Western Union is on their way out. They're trying, like, I can't believe they're still around. This is one company, if I wanted to get into fiat, I'd fucking short them.
This really feels like Blockbuster starting their own streaming service, right? Oh, you can watch Blockbuster online. How's that going to go?
Wasn't the story that Netflix approached them?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. $700 million or something, or I don't know exactly what the number was, and they said no.
There's still one Blockbuster still around.
I
believe it's in the state of New Jersey. Could be wrong, but there's one last holdout.
Isn't it Michigan?
Maybe Michigan.
There's like a little documentary on it on YouTube. That was really good. I watched it a couple of years ago. It's a really interesting little, half-hour documentary.
Yeah. Well, it's a throwback, and sometimes every once in a while, I'm going to the weeds here. Every once in a while, you'll see somebody post on X or Twitter, like an old store, an abandoned store. You can still see the outline, the silhouette of the Blockbuster logo, and you can just tell it was Blockbuster the way it is. Those are days long gone, man. Going through those aisles trying to find something to rent for the weekend, and the late fees. Don't forget to rewind if you had a VHS. Remember that? You had to fucking rewind those things.
Yeah. Be kind. Be kind and rewind, right? Remember like renting Super Nintendo games and just like you have the wall and you'd be there like an hour. It took me like sometimes an hour to choose which game I'm going to rent for the next day.
Yeah, those were the days. Now you can just get an emulator and fucking get any game you want.
Yeah.
All right, last story on the Bitcoin side. Redemption of Bitcoin from ETFs could potentially be a reality in a not too distant future. 5 major ETF issuers, ARC21, Fidelity, Invesco, Van Eck, Wisdom Tree. All of them submitted some amendments to the SEC, and it's aiming to permit investors to exchange Bitcoin directly for ETF shares. So right now, you could do that with gold, with a gold ETF, but you have to have a fuckload of shares, and it's not everybody could do it. It's got to be some authorized participant. I expect the exact same thing apply to this with Bitcoin. You probably have to have a fuckload of shares in these ETFs, and it's not for everybody to redeem. It's got to be probably these select few that are admitted it in these walled gardens that they're able to fucking redeem it. Like, this is something that's interesting, but there's no value here. His people like us, that if we do want to buy one of these Bitcoin ETFs, we will not be able to take advantage of the redemption of Bitcoin. Period. It's always going to be, in the end, it's going to be whenever we decide to sell, will only be the fiat value. That's it. You'll never get Bitcoin. You'll have to somehow exchange that fiat to Bitcoin if that's your intention, but it will never be done directly through there. It's up to you to do it. So
this is still good news, though. This is still good. This is things moving in the right direction. I would rather better this than them coming out and saying that, like, yeah, it's going to be absolutely impossible for anyone to ever be able to redeem Bitcoin ETFs for actual Bitcoin. So while I'm in 100% agreement with you, I don't know what the threshold is going to be, but it's probably going to be ridiculously high. I am glad that this is at least being discussed, and I do think it's a positive thing.
Yeah, I guess in terms of the impact,
still paper Bitcoin. It's still paper Bitcoin, right?
It is, yeah,
it's paper Bitcoin Summerland, don't you know?
Yeah, so Palmer was saying that.
Yeah, it was Greaser or Palmer.
Yeah, I get those two confused. Either way. Well, Boomer, that's it for the Bitcoin side of things. Hope you enjoyed this segment of the show. We'll be transitioning to the rest of the stories in just a moment. So if you're watching us, don't do anything. Just continually watch us. If you're listening, this show will be coming out. The next show will be coming out for you tomorrow. Any last words, Boomer?
Don't be a cuck.
I agree with you. Don't be a cuck. All righty. So there we go. That was the first segment of the show. You survived it. And we'll go on to the second half, which is the rest of the news. And anything that comes to mind right away? Because I have a few stories I want to talk about. But do you have anything quickly that you want to talk about or no?
What's on the top of your mind? I can tell by the look on your face that something is really getting.
Well,
to
there's
you.
a story that
Like
I was
we talked
reading.
about Hulk Hogan already, so like that's
No.
the top story for me.
That's the story. We could talk about him for a few hours, but Kansas City. Let's go to Kansas City, and we'd not talk about the Chiefs, not the Royals, but over there we'll talk about a grocery store known as Sunfresh. Right? They've been operating since 2018, so just a little while ago they started up. It's part of a revitalization project, and the Sunfresh Market is part of a community improvement district where the city collects revenue from 1% retail sales tax on purchases, and it's going to help pay for development. So there is a direct payment that's helping out for the city itself. So people that shop there, it's helping them out. But one thing to note is Sunfresh is owned by a nonprofit, Community Builders of Kansas City. So you can see where they're coming from. They're failing. No products on the shelves. No customers. Rotting food smell when you walk in the store. Almost $750,000 was given to this grocery store by the city. And yet, there's no vegetables, eggs stocked in weeks. When you look at the pictures of this is like almost a government-run grocery store. And you see empty shelves. It's reminiscent of pictures I've seen from the Soviet Union in the 80s. It's incredible to see what happens when you take the incentive away of
crazy,
profit. Right? And I don't know why people would want to see this model being copied over and over again. There's countless examples of why it fails. We have to give a carrot. Carrot is profit, and that's one way to incentivize these businesses to do well. Expand, build out, give customers an opportunity to come there. Not fucking rotting smell of food.
Innovate, right? And innovate, right?
I don't know what to say. Like, this is just another example. And you hear in New York, they're talking about these city-run grocery stores they're going to be doing under this potential new mayor. Why? Like, if anything, New York, and I don't want to make this a New York story, but we got to at least acknowledge this. New York, like, what the fuck? It's the idea of New York. It's capitalism, right? You have Wall Street, shit like that. And you're talking about you're talking about city-run grocery stores. Like, give me a fucking break. Like, this is just a failure all around.
It just always fails, and it always comes back. Because democracy is a certain way, right? At a certain point in a democracy, people will vote for free stuff. They're gonna vote. They're gonna want more free stuff, and that's where it happens here. Now, the people that run this grocery store, the people that are doing it, they probably don't have bad intentions at all. Like these are probably like well-intended people who actually care about their community, who want to do well. Like my heart goes out to those people. Like they just don't get it. Right? Now,
and
like
they won't
get it. Like,
right.
Like what would
this money's going to be given to them left and right, and they'll just, you don't learn until you fucking get hurt. Right?
Yeah,
until, like as Joni said, you touch the stove.
I was just going to say something else that Joey would probably say. Like, in order to get money, you should have to squat 225. Like, you want money from the state? Like, get under a bar. Like 225 right here, 5 reps. Let's go. Right? It's proof of work. You need to do it. Right?
You got to give these guys a carrot. And you know what? Being in a system where a capitalist system where those who thrive are the ones that provide the best services to their customers, the best value to their customers. And the ones that don't thrive are the ones that don't provide good value, good services to their customers, because then over time, they'll just lose out. Without money coming in, they'll close shop. And so essentially it's the best wins.
You know what the problem with socialism is, Len? You know what the problem is?
We all fucking lose.
Eventually, you run out of somebody else's money to give away.
No, there is no running out. As long as there's the managing of, as long as you have the ability to borrow, it's not a hard money system. So there's no money running out. It should
Well,
devalue
then
it.
you're devaluing, you're debasing, right? Which is the same thing as taking our money. It's the same thing, right? If they devalue our dollar by 50%, or they take 50% of our money, at the end of the day, it's the same end result. You can buy half of the stuff.
You got to work twice as hard.
Yeah.
Or twice as much.
Twice as much or twice as hard. Yeah.
Until the point where you can't work any harder or any more, and you've basically tapped out, working a second and third job.
It is kind of the stage of democracy, though, right? Like you see it. Like you see at a certain point, democracy becomes a point the finger at everybody who's doing better than you, and let's take their stuff. And that's what it becomes. Over and over and over. The incentives are such that it'll just always come down to this unless we really fix the money.
Here's a couple of comments. So Torup is saying, run out of money, never run out of fiat currency.
Yeah, but you run out of purchasing power.
Right. But he's right. You never run out of
thing.
And John,
well, it's like the ETH to Bitcoin chart, right? Like it'll probably never go to absolutely zero, but it'll get really damn close to zero.
And John is saying, Boomer is right. Eventually, you lose your talented people, and you don't have any more productivity in your territory. You know, one thing that's happening in Canada, I've seen statistics, and I posted it today on our Discord. If you haven't gone on our Discord, what the fuck are you doing? A lot of people are leaving Canada. A lot of people of means, people with degrees, doctors, engineers, millionaires, they're leaving Canada at a rate that hasn't been seen in decades. And this number, I suspect, is going to continually go up as things change in Canada, and people that have the ability to move, they just do. They go find a better place to go. Canada, I've said this many, many times, and maybe I'll take some grief for it, for still saying it, but it's a great place. I can't believe I'm going to say this, to work. Right? Like there's, in terms of like earning a living, and I know taxes are high and cost of everything's going high, but look at other Western nations. I think Canada is still probably top of the list compared to other Western nations. Probably a few others that are better, but Canada is still kind of near the top. As for retiring in Canada, nah, I think there's far better places to do it. But to work, I think Canada is a good place to earn a living as long as you're able to stay ahead of the inflation curve.
In many ways, this literally is the most beautiful place in the world.
We have so much to offer.
Just last night, I was on my paddleboard at Meech Lake.
Yeah.
So about half hour north of Ottawa is this like lake. It's not even that far from the city. And I'm telling you, Len, like this is like one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my life. Like I'm lucky enough to have traveled a little bit in my life, and I'm from a part of this country that is like really beautiful, and it's like you'd recognize, you know, the small town that I grew up in. It's kind of a popular place. Meech Lake, just up the road over here.
The Accord, remember the Accord?
Just as nice as anywhere I've ever been in my life. And you literally can just park your car there, grab your canoe, your paddleboard, your whatever, and just jump on the lake and just do your thing.
Yeah.
You're just allowed the beautiful sunset, like the cleanest water, fresh, clean.
But the problem is, you're describing like for retirement and visiting is beautiful. But if you're not earning anything, you get wrecked. It's a tough place to stay. Like Banff, for instance, is a wonderful place to
Whistler,
go visit.
Banff, Jasper, like all these things are really Victoria,
fucking
BC.
Vancouver. Fucking Vancouver.
Yeah, I know.
Like I've never been there, but from what I see,
stunning.
What I hear, like it's
stunning.
They fucked it up though. They fucked it up royally.
It should be the greatest city in the world. Like Vancouver, 100%. Like people should be like just dying to live there. Yeah, like from the the climate to the wilderness, the natural beauty of that place.
Yeah. And so Canada has all this shit, right? Like in terms, not many places in the world have an abundance of fresh water. We do. Energy, we have oil, natural gas, uranium. We have so much fucking shit.
Yeah.
Diamonds, gold, lots of stuff.
You name it.
Lots of arable land and lots of not so arable land. It's just a wonderful place. But unfortunately, they were given pocket aces and they fucked up. Right? Like there was no way anybody was going to invade Canada from the south. The East Ocean, the West Ocean, the North, you have the fucking Arctic. Nobody's going to. So in terms of like dealing with an invasion, like imagine Poland, for instance, and think of Poland over the last 100 change years. I'm not trying to pick on Poland, but they have to defend themselves because
they're in
invaded.
a shit spot. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, they're in a rough spot.
Canada's not. So we don't have to deal with that fucking bullshit.
No,
but yet we still, again, you got to give them fucking pocket aces, and now we have fucking a 2 and a 4 offsuit, and we have nothing.
It's
right?
so
Get
frustrating.
to fucking bluff our way through this fucking game.
It's so frustrating when you take a look at Norway. Look at Norway. We should be in a very similar spot as they are. And better than Norway, we don't have the European Union to deal with. We don't have that, right? We have to the south someone who has an insatiable appetite for the stuff we make. They need our energy, they need our food, like the resources. They'll happily buy as much as they can from us, as much as we can make in theory, right? If we played our cards right. All this natural wealth. And yet we have what we have.
People fucking lining up at food banks.
Yeah. Long
hospital. If you could somehow earn a living here and just stay ahead of the game and invest in Bitcoin and keep buying Bitcoin, you're able to parlay a decent. The Canadian dollar compared to a whole bunch of other currencies has value for now.
Yes.
Who knows what's going to happen? And if you could just parlay that into fucking corn for the next 5, 10, 15, whatever fucking years, you're golden, and you can find somewhere else to go and enjoy.
Or be a part of making it better when the time comes. And I know we've talked about this. I'm a little bit more optimistic than you are.
Yeah,
I'm more optimistic. Done. Like, be the change you want to see in the world. And it doesn't take much. And Len pretends that he's all like, oh, get the fuck out. Like, I'm team get the fuck out. Len, you're just by having this show and coming on once a week, twice a week, you're doing something. Okay, it's therapeutic for you for sure. But you are a part of. You are doing it. You are.
There's going to be a point in time. It's sometime, and I can't say when, but there will be a point in time where I will say goodbye, and you'll never see me again.
It'll be me and Joey hosting. It'll
be whomever.
Yeah.
And I don't know when. I do know when it's going to happen because I have it circled on my calendar. So I just don't want to disclose that. But there will be a point in time. It's going to say goodbye, enjoy, and that's it. I'm done. And that's it. I'm going to be done. I'll be happy to this. I have no qualms about it. I'm just fed up. And you know what? Not that other places that I want to go to are truly a utopia. There's bullshit there, but there's bullshit I could swallow over there versus the bullshit that I'm seeing over here, and the more bullshit that's going to be coming down.
And it's not moving in the right direction here.
Right.
That's
exactly that.
That's the problem. And you said it very well. We were dealt pocket aces and we fucked up our hand.
Yeah.
Right. I go through it too. I think about it all the time. Like all the time. I talk about it. Like I think about it all the time. Like, what if I just go to wherever, right? Move wherever. But then what? Somebody's gotta be here, right? Somebody's got to do it. Why not us?
No.
Why not you, Len?
No. I have things to see, and there's I'll explain it after later on. Let's talk about Trump. Gotta talk about him. He's still adding.
There's always something. There's always something to say.
Fucking guy. 45 is always better than 47. 47 is turning out to be a piece of trash, and he's throwing out the idea of taking the money that has been collected on tariffs. Right, they've been doing this for a little while. What are they going to do with this money? Increase services, cocaine, pay off the debt. No. They're going to send money to Americans. They're thinking about doing a fucking airdrop of cash to people. Debt right now is at $37 trillion and counting. And you have this one beautiful spending bill that's coming out, and that's going to spend even more money, trillions of dollars.
So, how to do it is the devil's in the details here. Now, if they do it through a tax break, then how do you feel about that?
Like if they're spending through a tax break.
No, well, if the airdrop is, accounting, let's say they've collected $1 billion worth of tariffs.
There's a problem with this, though.
So then they give everyone a tax break, and that the accumulative savings from the tax would equal to what they've achieved through tariffs.
You're 10 times too high because they've collected around $100 billion in tariffs. So that's number one. So 100 billion, even if they were to divert this into the debt, it's going to be the proverbial drop in a bucket. But it's a rounding error, right? It's just basically what they missed on the last.
The debt is, forget about that. That's not.
It's but sending out the money to people, and what are they going to do with it? Pay off bills that has been accumulated, buy goods, because there's the trade imbalance between them and China. A lot of money that is being, or that people earn, gets sent directly to China. They keep, you see the new subways that were built. I forget which city they were showcasing it. Just this past week, a beautiful subway system, and it was well lit, clean, brand new.
Well, the money is not sent to China. The money is given to consumers, and then consumers buy Chinese-made goods because Chinese-made goods are cheaper.
And that money sloshes around there,
and then it
sloshes around there, and it gets taxed, and then it's buying. Yeah. And so essentially, there's a circular economy there until that money somehow gets sent out to the point where maybe it gets sent out somewhere else to buy energy or whatever. But during that time, they're able to use that to improve services. Subways get improved and built, roads, airports, shit like that. You go to airports in the United States, a lot of them are fucking pathetic.
It's bad.
Roads, bridges,
it's bad,
right? And it's not going to get any better. And on top of like I was trying to say with the fucking subways, they build hundreds of kilometers of subways over there. Here in Toronto, if we have to build a subway stop for 5 kilometers, we have to hum and haw for 2 decades before we fucking come to the decision we're going to go ahead with it.
That's key there. What you just said there,
and now you have people that are suffering. Now you have, I'm going to use Toronto as the example. More people come to the Greater Toronto area and Toronto, and the public transit sucks. They're not building on it. The roads are taxed to its limit. And so the people's lives suffer as a result because now they driving to and from work, more time required for that. And even for extracurricular activities, if they want to go to the ball game or to the bar or even a fucking grocery store, it takes more time to do. Everything is just, it's impacting negatively people's lives because the money does not stay here and we don't get the benefits of keeping it sloshing around here. It gets sent somewhere else. So going back to Trump airdropping this money, yeah, it's great. But you know what? This money, a lot of it, chunk of it is going to end up in Chinese hands, and it's going to get sloshed around there, and they're going to be able to improve their ports and all that.
It's a lot more complicated than that. And you're not wrong. It's just a lot more.
I'm fucking angry. That's what I am.
You're angry.
I'm very angry.
Stimulating the consumers. Like if they airdrop, give $1,000 paycheck to every man, woman, and child in the United States, there's going to be lineups at the hair salon. There's going to be lineups like the price of certain things are going to go up. The Switch 2, the price of a secondhand Switch 2 is going to go through the roof. It's going to go to consumer goods, right? And it's probably not going to be allocated in the most economically efficient way going forward. But they are a tax, right? Like tariffs are a tax. So I'm not against giving the consumer some sort of tax relief based on what they paid already, right? Like what they've paid through these tariffs, because that's who pays the tax.
And Torp is saying that it's a pre-gaming the midterm voter.
Of course, that's like, we know that we've said that. How many times on this show has that come up? Like Doug Ford, every time you know that there's a provincial election coming up when Dougie sends you a stimulus check in the mail, right? Of course, they're going to do that. So what would you rather do, Len? So they've gotten this tariff money. What would you rather see them do with that money? Because I do want to see it go back to the people. I just don't know how. What's the best way to do it? My gut instinct is let's tax breaks.
Tax breaks would be a good option, but then on the flip side, then you have so many more. Like they put in this Doge thing, this Department of Government Efficiency thing, and it's supposed to save people a lot of money because
it didn't go so well, did it?
Elon's fucking pissed about this whole thing, and rightfully so.
Well, it was doomed to fail. Lynn Alden, what does Lynn Alden always say? Who's
pulling the strings? This is what I would love to know. It does matter.
It doesn't matter who's pulling the string. It doesn't matter because nothing stops this train. Nothing stops this train.
If there's a narrative, day one, the war with Ukraine is going to be finished. Day one,
I know.
I'm going to release the Epstein files. Day one, I'm going to do all this shit. And then you go around and you do the exact opposite. And then this whole big, beautiful bill stuff is the exact opposite. It's not trying to tighten the belts here and try to make do with what you have. It's like it's a uniparty. Right? There's almost no divide between this and the other guys. It's the same shit.
It doesn't.
Now, the only other one is it was a weekend at Biden's. Now, this one, at least this guy could stand on his own 2 feet. And
it's just different bread and circus. The bread and circus is a little bit different now. Like that's all it is. It doesn't matter. And that's where I don't know. Does this make me like a black pillar or a white pillar? I don't know. Maybe it's a positive thing. Like, it doesn't matter. None of it matters. Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal. Correct. It don't matter. So why stress out over it? So I'm not gonna
I just get pissed. I don't get.
I know.
I can continually get pissed.
It's frustrating, but
it is. It truly is, and that's why there'll be a point in time and say goodbye. But I'm done.
That's where we are. This is where we are in the situation we are now. We're in a period of fiscal dominance. Right? It's like what's the thing that the snake that eats its own tail? What is that called? In the chat, somebody help me out. What is that called? It's called we all know what I'm talking about, right? Like there's like the picture of the snake that eats his own tail. That's kind of where we are in the economy right now. Where
the problem is people fucking get hurt from all this, and you get more people that are living in cars.
I know.
Right? And it's an added strain. It's like more people that are just robbing people's homes.
Yes. Right? But it didn't just start with Donald Trump or Biden or Trudeau or
it's accelerated with all this shit.
Of course. But what I was going to say, it was going to accelerate no matter what. Like maybe on the edge, there'd be like certain little things that this person might be a little bit better, that person might be a little bit worse on specific things here and there, but that's just how it is. Poseidon, is that maybe the snake eating its own
pissed
tail?
Is stressed. Don't get pissed now, man. I get pissed and it gets me through the day. Like, you know what? That's the fucking.
But we have Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is the escape.
Bitcoin
is the escape from this nihilism that we all face, right? Like it's shitty out there. Like it's really shitty out there. Like I don't know where people.
Here's an example. Because Joey talks about these signposts all the time. The buy now, pay later stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Like this is something that is becoming more and more mainstream. The annual transaction volume for these buy now, pay later stuff is going to reach a record high this year, $116 billion in 2025. It's a 7x from 2022. And the people that are using this, I think it's because they're trying to carry them to the next paycheck. The sad thing is 25% of all these users are using this buy now, pay later stuff for groceries.
Yes.
For fucking food. And not only that, the same number of users, 25%, have missed at least one payment in 2025. And the problem with this is, if they are the people that bought groceries, it's hard to repossess somebody that shit away the groceries that they bought. Essentially, it's gone at that point. So,
and how many of these people, and there are a lot, and the growing number of people, how many of these people are homeowners. Probably few. And the ones that are homeowners are probably on the verge. That's all they have is their home, right? So they any bit of credit that they can get against their home, they've probably already done that. But it's probably not homeowners. It's probably renters, and they can't get ahead. And guess what happens when you have a society filled with people who can't get ahead? It's shit.
And you know what's going to happen is they're going to vote a certain way.
Of course,
and they're going to tax those that do have.
That takes us right back to what we were talking about half an hour ago.
So if you're a homeowner, and if you think that it's going to be, at least in Canada, you could sell it, and the sale of a primary residence is not subjected to capital gains.
For now.
How long is that going to be? For now. Exactly. How long was that going to be? Eventually, you're going to have enough people enough voters that outnumber those that do not versus those that do have houses. And so when somebody comes out with an idea, you know what, let's tax the primary residence and it's going to be subjected to capital gains. People that own homes, I don't like this, it's not a great idea. But if they have fewer numbers than those on the other side of the fence, well, it's democracy, and that's the way, So eventually it's going to be, if you own a house, or some people call it a liability, it's great now, especially for primary residents, but I don't know for how much longer. It could be for a few more years.
Well, we're already kind of seeing with all the car theft, right? Like car theft is a function of this as well, too, right? Oh, look at that person with a nice new car. I can steal from him. Fuck that guy with the new car, right? That's not a good thing in a society to have this type of stuff.
Torp is asking if home is your largest asset, are you even going to make it? I think it all depends on when they purchased the house. So there's a lot of people that purchased it 20 years ago. And I think that just because of the way things are in Canada, the demand of homes and shit like that, I think that is the majority of their wealth is associated with their house. Could be now worth $1.5, $2 million. And I don't think their Bitcoin allotment, their TFSAs or RSPs are greater than that. Just my 2 cents.
It also depends where your house is, right? And that's not just for talking about like land value. Or that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like the social value of owning a home. And Joey talks about this all the time, about like that. Very tough to quantify what that means. So if your biggest asset is your house, but you're in a community that you love and that you are a part of your community and you are an integrated part of your community, you probably are going to make it, because unless your community really changes, then you might not make it. But there's that special sauce that you can't really quantify.
Yeah. There's one thing about owning your own house and having the freedom of doing what you want with your own house. There's something to be said about that. But on the flip side, they're making it harder and harder to come up with a strong justification to continually own a house over a long enough period of time. And still you have to live somewhere. I say, like, you can't live in your Bitcoin, but I don't know. In some cases, renting and being transient gives you a lot of options, but you have to have the means to do that. And not everybody is as blessed, right? So,
and speaking of owning a house, I renewed my mortgage 2 weeks ago. And like one of the things that I don't regret it, but like in hindsight, what I probably should have done is the last time I renewed my mortgage, I probably should have taken out a home equity line of credit and bought Bitcoin. So knowing that, I applied for a home equity line of credit this time when I did my mortgage renewal. Len, do you know how much money they just were willing to give me?
Don't even say it, because it's going to be dependent, I think, of how much percentage of the house you own, right? Like home equity, I think it's dependent on like how much. So don't get into specifics, like, because you don't want to.
I don't have to, but it was just ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And I left that meeting with the mortgage broker, who was perfectly nice. If she's watching this, like she was great, she was fine. I got they want to drain the equity out of your house. They want you to borrow as much money as you possibly can, like to keep you in this hamster wheel.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're offering me how much money? Like,
It's like a fucking
why?
vampire.
Like, I would
Sucking
never.
the blood.
Yeah, somebody put in the chat like a HELOC is handy for it. Yeah, it is. That's why I decided to do it. Like, I'm just in case if there's a dip in Bitcoin, not financial advice, but looking back on it last time, I should have got a HELOC and bought the dip.
Yeah.
But the idea of that they want us in debt all the time. So even if you do own your house, like if you own let's say you own your house, and let's say you've done everything right, you've paid off a good chunk of your mortgage, and then you go to renew your mortgage, and then the bank throws money at you at some HELOC, and if you're not responsible enough and you max out that home equity line of credit, you're fucked.
Yeah, and they'll be happy to.
They're happy
refinance. They'll refinance your mortgage to ensure that you have the maximum coverage, the maximum duration, so they could just suck the fucking blood out of you every fucking month. Because the people over there, they know that historically the price of homes go up, and people don't want to get out once they're in. People want to stay there, and they're house poor and they're just stuck.
And they want you to be even more house poor. Because the more house poor you are, the more the less freedom you have, right? Like the more afraid you are.
Yeah, I've had Torvis saying to give them the home, walk away with a whole Bitcoin worth way more. Yeah, gotta live somewhere. The problem is if you just walk away from a home, it screws up your credit here in Canada, and then good luck renting somewhere else. It's just you're stuck, and it's just fucking sucks. Now, if you plan to get the fuck out, then it's a different story.
Pay your bills, and if you're going to go in debt, if you're going to use like some sort of debt instrument, if you're in a fortunate position to be able to have those available to you, be responsible.
Right? I would even go as far as don't even fucking borrow. Fuck it, just use your extra every week, every 2 weeks, whatever the fuck it is, and just buy from that. Going into debt ain't worth it. You get wrecked in the end.
Probably
we could buy Bitcoin now, and then the bank decides to close their accounts. We could continually buy. So I would just say, just do your weekly buys, your every 2 week buy, a DCA, what the fuck you do, and just keep stacking. If rates change, you don't have any extra debt. You still probably have your mortgage and whatever else. At least you didn't add into that. Fucking, because you know what, rates are going to probably still go down for the time being, but then eventually it'll go back up. And fuck it, I don't want to get into that. Let's finish this segment off.
Some cheerful, I hope.
Yeah,
we need to cheer you up, Len.
And I'm fucking always angry.
You're mad.
Very angry. Yeah, no, and I'm. So let's do the Brampton man. But you know what? It's gonna be a little bit different because you're in Ottawa. We have a Brampton man versus an Ottawa man. But Joey's not here. We'll make it a three-way dance. We'll throw in even a Hamilton man into this whole mix here. So I'm going to give you 3 different stories. You tell me which one of these is the Brampton man, the Hamilton man, or the Ottawa man.
Okay.
Number 1. All right. There was a theft. The police noted a huge escalation in the theft of butter and ghee from local grocery stores.
There's a hint.
Hang on, it gets even better. With over 180 reported incidents, they say that $60,000 worth of butter and ghee was stolen. And ghee apparently has a very high resale value, and it possesses an excellent shelf life. So it makes it's an attractive target for thieves. And they suspected that this was being funneled to the black market, like supplying restaurants, catering services, or individuals seeking to purchase these essential ingredients at a discounted rate.
Do you think everybody that's listening to this right now knows what ghee is? Because I don't think like 8 months ago I knew what ghee was. Like I just happen to know now, but like I don't think I used to.
All right, so there we go. So that's the ghee story. And apparently 3 guys were nabbed. And yeah.
Do I get names? Names of these?
No names.
No names. Okay.
Second story. We got this. Okay. lewd act on the bus. And this suspect is very similar to last week's story, but this suspect was exposing himself to fellow passengers, and he was proceeding to perform sexual acts on the bus. And it was during broad daylight too, nonetheless. It wasn't on the night bus. This guy was just doing it in the middle of the day on public transit. And it's a confined space. Buses are not very big, and you know what? A lot of trauma to witnesses, and people were very disturbed about this. And actually, police released a description of the suspect and urged anybody to come forward with information. South Asian, East Indian man, early 20s, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah. That's a twist.
That is a twist. Third one, we got this man, 28-year-old, and he was arrested after attempting to steal public art. And with the art, a giant inflatable rubber duck. It wasn't any duck. It was a 20-foot tall, brightly colored mascot named Quackzilla. And allegedly, the guy that stole it was under the influence. And he was so fucked up, he tried to drag this tethered fucking duck into a nearby body of water, claiming he was, quote, liberating it for the ducks of the world. Witnesses were reporting that he was shouting about duck rights and attempting to paddle away with it on a stolen canoe before the police intervened.
That's the most
All right,
Canadian story I've
so we have
ever heard.
the stolen butter and ghee. We have the guy that was whacking off again on the bus, and the third, the inflatable duck being stolen.
Now,
Which is
I'm not very confident in this because you put there was a twist.
yeah, there was.
There was some twists in there.
There was.
I'm still gonna go the first one, Brampton.
Guy Brampton, that's your choice?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be that.
And then I'm
What's
gonna
your
go the second one, Hamilton.
So the guy stroking himself again, Hamilton's the second week in a row. Hamilton stroking. Okay.
Yeah.
Then the third
And
of these.
the duck. I've never seen a duck. I live in Ottawa. I've never seen that big duck. But like I'm not. But there's lots of bodies of water here.
Yeah, there are.
There's a lot of people that would like do crazy things for duck rights in this town. And canoes, I see people in canoes all the time, so that kind of makes sense. Even though I've never seen this duck. So lock it in. That's my final answer.
All right. Well, I hope people playing at home have locked in their answers as well, because this isn't a game just for us over here to play. This is a commutative game. So hope everybody has decided to pick their choices, what they are. First one, the Guy, definitely Brampton. Three guys, Vashvijit Singh, Sukhmander Singh, and Dalwal Sadhu were all charged for doing their thing with that. So yes, they were that. Second one, the guy stroking himself, the South Asian East Indian, was Ottawa.
Oh,
yes. So he was not. I don't know if it was on which train.
Wasn't the one I take into work.
And the third one is the guy with the rubber duck, Hamilton man. He was trying to take that to Lake Ontario. trying to liberate it. What a fucking world we live in. Yeah. Now, if it came over here from abroad and it claimed asylum, maybe we would be able to give it a hotel or something along those lines.
Was it a rainbow duck?
It didn't say, but if it wasn't, it missed the opportunity, right? So it would have had again, it would. Did you hear that Canada is trying to recruit asylum seekers from the LGBTQ community? Have you heard about this or no?
Yeah, I heard about this.
Yeah. So interesting stuff that that's being done. I'll leave it at that. We have some good wishes for Joey in the chat. So yeah, I hope he's doing better.
So Joey's Achilles was a thing. That's like 2023 meta, right? When Joey's Achilles, the guy in the chat that called himself Joey's Achilles.
There's two of them. There's Joey's Achilles and Joey's ACL.
Yeah, Joey's ACL is the new one, right?
No, it's a rehash of an old one.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So we used to get messages to boostograms from Joey's ACL. I don't know what happened to him. Why he's not doing it anymore.
He's busted.
Yeah. Well,
He got wrecked. He got wrecked.
You talk about the user or the actual ACL? Because the ACL, yeah. I don't want to spoil anything, but Joey will talk about it on Monday. So, Boomer, appreciate you coming in, pinch hitting under relatively short notice. This has been good. Hope you enjoyed it.
Who was the Blue Jays' best pinch hitter back in the day?
Rance Mullenix was a good one.
Rance
Pat
Mullins.
Tabler was another good one. Lee Mazzilli, late in his career when he was
Pat
here.
Tabler was like famously like one of the greatest hitters ever with the bases loaded.
Yeah, like almost a 500 average.
Career 500 average with the bases loaded. It's wild.
Garth Orge was another one they used a lot in pinch hits. So, yeah.
I'm the Lance Mullenix.
Rance
Mullenix. Yeah.
He was a solid. So he was the lefty and Tabler was the righty. So depending on the pitcher, they would, bring in either of the two.
Yeah.
But that's it. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the show. And thank you very much, Boomer, for pinch hitting. With that, take care. Last words, Boomer?
Yeah, thanks for having me. You guys got a really nice shout out on the Rock Paper Bitcoin podcast this week.
Oh,
like just randomly. I don't know how, but they complimented. They were talking about the technical difficulties that you had last week, and they were just saying like when you do a live show, those are the things that can happen, and nobody can really predict that. And then they went on a little side tangent about how you guys are one of the more professional podcasts that they've ever dealt with before. So
Business
really
Cat
nice.
Wrote in a bunch of times to us for boostograms.
Yeah, he's great. I'll be on their show in 2 weeks. So if anybody tuning in, you should be listening to Canadian Bitcoin podcast. You should be listening to Rock Paper Bitcoin. 40 hours a week. Reach out to me on Twitter. Like I'll help you 40 hours a week. I can help you get set up to 40 hours a week. But these are like pivotal. These are like core 40 hours a week podcast. Canadian Bitcoin podcast, Rock Paper Bitcoin, and the Bugle. Like that's got to be your core.
You do it, man. Holy cow. 40. Good for you for achieving that 40 hours. So with that, then take care. And we'll be back at this Wednesday with Joey. So take care.